Some characters in Skyrim shout for your attention. Dragons crash from the sky, Jarls summon you with ceremony. Necromancers cackle in crypts and Daedric princes whisper from the void. And then there are the quiet ones. The ones who don't announce themselves, who wear their madness not like armor, but like a second skin. The ones you don't remember how you met, only that something about them stuck. A voice, a laugh, a feeling that you've just brushed up against something the game isn't quite willing to explain. You meet one such man on the road north of Whiterun. At first, he seems broken, a stranded traveller, mumbling to himself beside a ruined cart. He says he's carrying something very important. He wears the colours of comedy, but speaks in riddles. He smiles too wide, laughs too loud. His presence is unsettling in a way you can't quite name. And the more time you spend with him, the more certain you become. Cicero is an Imperial, a human man. But like many strange figures in Tamriel, his story stretches beyond mere flesh and voice. He once belonged to one of the chapters of the Dark Brotherhood in Cyrodiil, where he served as a contract killer. Back then, he was cold, efficient, and eerily normal, at least by the Brotherhood's standards. His descent into madness began when he fulfilled a final contract, the assassination of a court jester. He became obsessed with the clown, adopting his outfit and persona. Slowly, as the Brotherhood collapsed around him, Cicero unravelled. You don't learn all this at once, however. It's whispered through his journals, stashed in his room at the Falkreath Century, scrawled with desperate longing and slow disintegration. You piece it together yourself, and what emerges isn't just a madman. It's a man broken by duty, grief, and isolation. A man left alone to speak with a corpse because no one else would. And the corpse? Well, that's the Night Mother, the spiritual nucleus of the Dark Brotherhood and Cicero. Which means he's not just a clown with a coffin, he's the last true believer. If you spy on Cicero during the quest Whispers in the Dark, you find him locked in his chambers, whispering urgently to the Night Mother's remains. At first, it feels sinister. He's suspected of betrayal, even murder. The player is sent to catch him in the act. But what you overhear is not treason, it's loneliness. Cicero is begging the Night Mother to speak, desperate to prove himself as the listener, the one chosen to carry her will. And then, in a narrative pivot, she speaks to you instead. You become the listener. Cicero breaks, not with rage, but with joy. He accepts you immediately, calls you listener with reverent excitement. The moment he's waited years for, denied to him, has come, and he's grateful. But he's also unwell. Cicero doesn't just act insane, he sounds like it as well. His voice is erratic, skipping pitches, he giggles mid-sentence, he shouts at himself, rhymes nonsense, and breaks the fourth wall. He's deeply unsettling, not just because of what he says, but because we can't quite place what he knows. He behaves like a man who's read the script and isn't sure whether he's in a tragedy or a comedy. Players debate whether Cicero is possessed, schizophrenic, or simply damaged. But what makes him Skyrim's weirdest NPC isn't mental illness, it's unresolved purpose. He doesn't have a clear role. He's an enemy or a follower. He's a threat or a protector. He's mad, but right. When Astrid leads the Brotherhood astray, rejecting the Night Mother's teachings, taking contracts from non-canon sources, it's Cicero who calls her out. And he's right. His madness becomes clarity. The Brotherhood has lost its way. He, the clown, is the only one still walking the path. It's not his sanity that's in the question at this point. It's everyone else's. If you choose to spare Cicero during the cure of madness, he becomes available as a follower. He's powerful, essential, sneaky, fast, and funny in battle. He dances and laughs while stabbing enemies. He shouts jokes into the void. But few players take him along. Not because he's weak, not even because he's annoying, but because he feels unreal, like he's in the wrong game, like he might suddenly attack you or whisper your future, or vanish when you're not looking. He doesn't react to the world the way other followers do. He seems to be playing a different game entirely. Bringing Cicero into the world of Skyrim is like dragging a fever dream into your stable quest log. And that dissonance is the point. The Dark Brotherhood has always been about theatrics, ritual, blood, shadow. But in Skyrim, they're crumbling. The sanctuaries are sparse, members bicker and backstab. Astrid tries to run the show like a mercenary company. The old ways are dying. And Cicero remembers them. He quotes the tenets, reveres the listeners, tends the Night Mother's corpse with religious devotion. He's not outdated, he's preserved, a relic in motion. And he makes you question, who's the real villain here? Astrid, the pragmatic leader who breaks tradition, or Cicero, the jester who honours it, no matter what the cost is? Skyrim doesn't really give you an answer. It lets you choose. Kill Cicero and get a cool outfit, spare him and get a living artifact. Either way, he's never just another NPC. In tone and function, Cicero resembles Roekstead, or the Lost Prospect Mine, those quiet, uncanny places in Skyrim that the game doesn't really explain. He is a walking narrative gap. The game never defines him, doesn't justify his oddity, doesn't tell you how to feel. He's just there, a giggling ghost in a land that doesn't know what to do with him. And that's why players debate him. He feels like cut content that snuck back in. He speaks in riddles, references ancient lore, breaks reality with his presence. He belongs in a forgotten DLC, one centered on madness, time, and Daedric riddles. In fact, many players have theorized that Cicero is linked to the Daedric Prince of Madness. There's no confirmation, because there doesn't need to be, because Cicero, like the best mysteries in Skyrim, work best unresolved. Most NPCs in Skyrim are consistent, predictable, and scripted. However, Cicero is not. He reacts emotionally. He lies, he laughs, he remembers things. He has a life outside of the player. One that doesn't reset between quests. And that makes him uncanny. Because in a world of static loops and recycled lines, Cicero seems aware. He doesn't behave like a character in a role-playing game. He behaves like someone trapped in one. And that's why we can't forget him. Cicero doesn't have a dungeon. He doesn't rule a town. He doesn't carry an artifact or guard a boss chamber. But he is a place, a psychological location, a mental space the game asks you to enter and dares you to stay in. He makes you question your decisions, your loyalties, your role in the story. He is the creeping silence of Roekstead, the hollow echo of the Lost Prospect Mine, a place that feels like it's hiding something it doesn't want you to understand. He's quiet, lingering like a laugh that comes after a joke, or before the murder. Cicero is many things: a clown with a blade, a priest without a temple, a villain who might be the last true hero, a follower who might stab you or save you. But more than anything, Cicero is Skyrim's strangest mirror. He shows you what happens when the world moves on but you don't, when loyalty turns to obsession, when belief becomes the only thing keeping you alive. He's a glitch in the narrative, a broken note in the song, a question the game refuses to answer. And in a world full of monsters, magic, and myth, that makes him the most mysterious and confusing character of all.